And then, last year, Becky Sharp was walking home with her 11-month-old daughter when a car swerved into the road she thought was clear and had started to cross.
The driver was speeding and over the limit. Had it not been for Becky's fast action to push her daughter's pram to safety, the consequences could have been tragic.
Becky's injuries at first looked to be life-changing, but 1 year on, she's defied all the odds and is here now with her daughter, who was in that pushchair, Lorena, and also... she saved, of course, and her husband, Dan, who has got a very proud London Marathon medal, which we'll come on to.
Yeah.
How are the legs feeling, Dan?
They're OK, yeah.
They're OK?
Bit sore.
Bit
sore.
jelly.
Well,
Bit
very
jelly.
proud of what you managed to achieve yesterday. Becky, we were watching a little bit of that footage during the break, and I asked whether you find it difficult to watch, but you don't. It doesn't really register with you, you're saying?
No, kind of thankfully, I don't have any memory of the accident. I'd say very thankfully, actually. So that's one benefit out of the brain injury, I guess.
Yeah. So to take us back to that day, I mean, the two of you clearly just going for a walk. What was the scenario? What had been happening?
I'd walked my older two daughters to holiday club, and I was on maternity leave at the time with Lorena. So I was walking her back home, and we were crossing the road and the car went into me. I managed to push the buggy out of the way before the accident happened, and I'm so pleased I did, thankfully.
And what happened on that moment of impact? So you pushed Lorena out the way, and she was hooked into her pushchair, wasn't she? So
she was perfectly safe, but her buggy was knocked over, I think. So she had to go to hospital anyway. But luckily, my mother-in-law, Dan's mum, lives just down the road, so she went to Paul Hospital with Lorena, and I was airlifted to Southampton Hospital.
And you were in a coma?
Yeah. I had blood transfusions, broken leg, broken hips, broken ribs, broken... neck.
You had a skull fracture.
A skull fracture.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. And, Dan, you were at work.
I was, yeah.
Do you remember the call coming through?
Yeah.
What was it like to get that call?
Yeah, I mean, your world just falls apart.
Yeah.
And I spoke to the police officer and he just said, your wife is very, very poorly. And I knew, they don't say that for no reason.
No.
Like, I knew it was touch and go. And, yeah, you just go into a response where you have to do what you need to do, and went and picked up Lorena, and then we made our way to Southampton and saw Becky in intensive care, where she was there laid.
God, I can't imagine what it must have been like for you, Dan, and for the girls, for all three of them. Fortunately, Lorena was so small, I'm not sure that it was an issue. But for the other two who are older, how do you cope in that sort of scenario? How do you get through those 8 weeks she was in the coma and then the months of rehab afterwards?
Well, obviously, the first thing is you come back from the hospital and you have to tell the older two that Mummy's in hospital, she's not coming home, she's unconscious. And that's the sort of the start of the challenge, really, because they just want to mooching.
And they're only 8 and 6, your children as well, and you don't know what's about to happen either.
No, and I think we had to sort of be very, very careful about what we said, but we were honest from the beginning. And pretty soon, I think on the Thursday, it was the Tuesday it happened, on the Thursday we took the girls in to see Becky and they saw her in intensive care. And then, started effectively 8 months of hospital visits with sort of Becky, thankfully, progressing over time. But just a huge amount of uncertainty. There's no guarantees with brain injury. So.
And it was slow progress as well, wasn't it? How did you progress?
So it sort of started out where after 2 weeks they removed the sedation medication. So that's the opportunity that Becky could have woken up.
Okay.
And the consultant at that point said to me, if you want to see how Becky's going to be in 6 months, you've just got to wait 6 months. And at that point, she hadn't woken up.
Right.
And it was about 8 weeks. It's sort of very gradual. It goes from opening eyes to starting to do small hand movements and things. But, it's really painfully slow. But Becky's been so good throughout it, and she's, as soon as...
You played some wedding music, didn't you? And she started singing?
Yes, yeah. So she started singing along to that. And it's sort of punctuated with those moments of sort of real... sort of progress, and you kind of look back and think, wow, we've come really far.
Defying the odds, though, Becky, is what you've managed to do, just in terms of the expectation of the experts to where you are now. I mean, how are you feeling? What is life like for you?
Yeah, I mean, life has gone back to as much like normality as it can do at the moment, I guess. Like, I walk the older two to school in the morning and Lozzie to the childminder when she's there. And I pick them up from school in the afternoon.
And you're able to have them on their own for a few hours now and stuff, aren't you? So.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's slowly getting back to normal.
Slowly getting there.
And Dan, you ran the marathon yesterday.
Hold it up. Hold the medal up.
For Brain Research UK, you were raising money for the charity. How have those guys helped you?
Yeah, so it feels like a bit of a full circle thing, really, because before the accident, I was prepared ready to run Manchester Marathon. And I didn't, it was 5 days away and I didn't get to run it, obviously. But to be able to fundraise for Brain Research UK, they're the largest funder of brain research in the UK. And they're just, all of the stuff that they do, all the research, feeds the professionals and the doctors that then informs that care for people with traumatic brain injury.
Yes.
And so far, we've managed to raise around £19,000.
Amazing.
Well
hopefully is going to get doubled by one of the Becky's brothers' companies that he works
Brilliant.
for.
So you've got someone's going to match the funding and people can still sponsor you if they'd like to.
Absolutely, yeah, that'd be fantastic. So.
Well, look, it's an amazing story, Becky. You are an absolute hero for fighting. It's sort of testament to your life force in you and wanting to be around for your girls and Dan as well. That you've made such an amazing recovery and continue good luck with that as well.
Thank you.
Thank you
all for
very
coming
much.
in.
Thank you so much.
And well done, Lozzie, as well.
Yeah.
She's coped brilliantly.
Yeah, she doesn't care about it. She doesn't care.
Before all that, if you take a look at our sofa right now, it might seem like we've opened a creche for newborn babies.
Who would trust us with their children?
Certainly not us.
If you look extremely closely, you might be able to spot that these are actually super lifelike dolls.
Yeah, they're known as reborn dolls, which don't just look like real babies. They actually also weigh the same. They've got real hair. Some of them can even have a heartbeat.
We're joined now by their creator, Jane Seddon. Good morning.
Morning, Jane.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So tell me, first of all, I mean, you can't make these dolls and not love dolls. So where did your love of dolls come from?
Well, I didn't really have many dolls when I was a child. I think, had one because I was one of 5 children and 4 of them were boys. So,
OK.
You know, then it was kind of, everything was handed down, you know, that you got as gifts for Christmas and birthdays. So, and I had a friend who had a really lovely doll's pram and a beautiful baby doll. And I always wanted one, never got one. So when I discovered porcelain dolls to begin with.
Oh, yes.
And I was a stay-at-home mum because I had 2 sons that were quite ill.
OK.
So I then started to make porcelain dolls and sell them. And that grew into quite a big business. And I used to supply 40 shops all over the world. So, you know...
There you go. Find something you love and do it really well.
The extraordinary thing is that these aren't porcelain, though, are they?
No.
And I've just picked this one. I haven't. The weight of this doll feels like a real baby.
It's been a long time for you, Ben.
It has been a really long time, but you do feel like you're holding something very precious when I'm holding.
Yeah, they're weighted specially to feel like a newborn baby.
Do you mind if I go round for a newborn?
You're going to go
I
and
want
find
a
a
real newborn.
So
I want a newbie.
How did you suddenly... So you shifted from porcelain to these reborn...
Yeah, well, I did porcelain for about 15
Amazing,
years, and then that kind of, you know, became less desirable.
Right, OK.
And then somebody in America was making these reborn dolls from baby dolls that they would take apart and then paint them to look like a real baby. So initially when it started, there were no kits or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was literally taking apart baby dolls, and that's why they're called reborns.
I see.
And then that kind of, we heard about it here in the UK, and because I was already making dolls already,
Yeah.
I then started to make the reborn dolls.
I mean, they're so... Look at my thumb. I'm
you
doing
can't
this,
help. You want
and I don't know why I'm doing
the workmanship on this is absolutely exquisite. You've done an amazing thing, and I think that's one of the things is that they are a little bit eerie as well until you put your hands on them and you can sort of realise. And there is something about them. Maybe it's because we've seen films and bits and pieces where dolls come, but they feel so lifelike, but they're not. What do you say to people that say, "Oh, it's a bit sinister, it's a bit weird"?
Well, what I normally say is once you get to, like, look at the doll and feel it, you will change your mind, really, because the feel of them, it's got a good feel about it, and that's why they're good for children with autism or adults with autism or dementia, Alzheimer's and things like that, because they produce, like, a hormone in your body that is a feel-good hormone.
Can you feel it?
And, you know, it gives you confidence. Like, I made a doll for a young man in his 20s. He had autism, quite severe, but he found that when he carried the baby with him, if he went on the bus or whatever, it just gave him the confidence to go out on public transport, you know, so...
I do have to say, so when I saw them when we were rehearsing this morning with the director, Nick, we were and I was like, oh, that's very... But weirdly...
Holding them feels different.
Holding them feels completely different,
I agree.
And the weight completely different.
Yeah.
But then you can make them smell of babies. You can also put heartbeats in them as well, like properly bespoke them for...
And breathing mechanisms.
So they'll breathe up and down.
Yeah.
What's the... I mean, they are beautifully made. How much is one of these cost? And what's the basic model and what's the most expensive?
Well, they start from around about 200, 250 upward from there.
And what would be the top end?
Thousands.
Thousands. So a breathing mechanism and a heartbeat, that's going to get all the more expensive.
Yeah, but it's also to do with some of the dolls are limited edition, so you can't buy them again. You can't buy the kits again.
Right.
And that makes them really valuable.
But they've got, like, hair and everything. Well, how do you do the hair?
That's done with goat's hair, Angora goats.
Right.
I've got 4 Angora goats.
Oh, you've got your own goats?
Yes.
Too?
So you keep the goats for the hair, for the babies, for the dolls?
And we dye it and, you know, make it for our dolls. So, yeah, it's...
And it's an extra... You've been able to make, as we were saying, this hobby of yours into a really successsucul business.
Yes.
It means you've been able to look after your boys and work from home and create something that you're really passionate about.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So it's so... And each one comes with their own certificate?
Yes, you normally come with a certificate.
A birth certificate?
They come with a certificate from the actual kit itself, you know, so it proves its authenticity.
Yeah.
And then we actually provide a kit, a certificate with the doll's name, and you can choose the doll's name and date of birth, which people like, because sometimes it's we've made them specially for them for a specific, you know, maybe a baby that they've lost or a baby that they, a child that they want to remember what they were like when they were a baby.
Because it passes in the blink of an eye. Like, there is a thing where you forget and then you remember. It's so weird, you remember then.
Jane, they're amazing. We all had our own preconceived ideas of what this was going to be like.
100%.
Did you? Yeah.
Yes.
I thought they were going to be a little strange and eerie, but holding them...
strange.
Yeah. And they are, and you just sit... You can tell they're not like my two, because this one's very happy and content and hasn't soiled itself yet, and I've got 2 boys that are still doing that now as teenagers.
I'd
and
love
they
to
don't
dress
cry.
Sam up like that. He'd love it, right?
They really would. Jane, thank you for bringing them in.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just extraordinary.
You're welcome.
And they are beautifully made as well. They really are.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
And Richard Gadd joins us now here this morning. Good morning to you.
Thanks
First of all, let's start off by saying congratulations. Number
thank
1
you.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it, we've been discussing it all morning, and just how brilliantly it's written, how there isn't really a villain or a hero in it. it's all about discussing the grey of human beings, essentially. Yeah. You must feel so proud of it.
Yeah, I'm super proud of it. It's blown up so quickly and so fast all around the world that I didn't expect it in a lot of ways. I really believed in the show, but the fact that it's gone so sort of stratospheric so quickly, for such a cult, quite niche sort of story, I mean, it's kind of amazing. So it's clearly struck a chord.
The underlying thing is this is your lived experience. You actually went through this. So we're watching this very dark comedy because it's written like that, and it is funny happening, and the whole time thinking, crikey, you actually went through this. When did you think this extraordinarily traumatic 4.5 years of your life would make a great comedy drama?
Well, I'd started sort of doing it on the stage. I'd gone through some pretty bad things, stalking and stuff that probably can't discuss at this time, but you know...
They're all in Baby Reindeer.
Yeah, they're all in Baby Reindeer, yeah. And I got a catharsis from going to the Edinburgh Festival and actually performing these plays and exploring the themes and just getting it all out there. And I achieved sort of acceptance around them. And those shows took off, and Baby Reindeer took off, started at the Edinburgh Festival, went to London, and just it built and built and built, and then Netflix came to me and were like, do you want to make this into a series? It just snowballed and snowballed, and you just hope that that kind of catharsis just keeps going on at an even bigger scale, so, yeah.
I mean, we don't want to give it all away, because you've got to watch it, but essentially it all begins with one random act of kindness.
Yes.
And then as it develops through, you can see in hindsight, knowing what's going to happen, all the little mistakes that your character makes along the way. But is that kind of what happened in real life too?
Yeah, absolutely. It did all start with a drink on the house. And I knew almost immediately, that's why so much is made about that look up in episode 1, that look up that Martha does. That is very reminiscent of what happened. I almost knew the second I'd done that, I'd made that gesture, that, oh, something's brewing here.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to get to the extent that it did get, but it definitely started in that moment, yeah.
And just, I mean, in terms of the experience of having somebody who was stalking you, how bad did it get?
Oh, it got pretty bad. It got pretty relentless. At one stage, it was like an assault on all senses across all media, emails, phone, everything. It felt like a barrage, a constant sort of 24/7 issue.
And you found, I think one of the things that I get from the series is that you understand that you have a responsibility within that as well. You had, at certain periods, as Kat was saying, you had done things that perhaps when you look at it, you think, maybe I encouraged some of this and I shouldn't have.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't want to do a sort of... It felt too easy to do a cup of tea and, aren't I such a victim? It didn't feel that way. Exactly. It didn't feel that way in life. I indulged it. I was in a bad place. I made stupid errors. I sort of felt like I needed someone to give me attention in a way because my confidence was rock bottom, and I wanted to get that in. I wanted to show the nuances of the human condition, really. I wanted to show that people are a mixture of good and bad, and I think stalker stories usually tend to be one person's good, one person's bad, and I wanted to kind of get away from that.
I have to say, your co-star as well, Jessica Gunning.
Yeah, amazing.
How she transports herself in a split second, from being incredibly aggressive and very frightening to suddenly being...
Sweetness and light.
Yeah, you feel so sorry for her. She's heartbreaking almost.
Yes,
Must have been great to be opposite her.
Oh, I adored her. There were times when we'd be shooting shots and the camera would be over my shoulder on her and I'd forget to say my lines because I'm like, God, she's so good. She's just so good. Oh, sorry, I've messed the scene up. And she's remarkable. I think she's the best actress in this country. I do, and I always had her in mind for Martha. I saw her in TV shows. I saw a spark. I saw a vulnerability. I saw a light, a darkness. I saw it all, and I was sort of pushing her from the start, really. So she's great.
There's a little clip. We're not giving much away, but there's a little clip in the trailer where you go into the police station for the first time. And you say, "Look, I think I've got a stalker."
Yeah.
The reality of that is something that you lived as well. There's sort of dismissive nature of what you took to them. What was that experience like? And what do you think needs to be done? Because you're not the first person to experience something like this, but it took you having to prove there was a threat of physical violence for them to take you seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it always felt like a long and convoluted process. It always felt way more difficult than it ever needed to be. I think a lot of it comes down to, cuts, understaffing, lack of training, all these kinds of things. And I do remember when I was told to listen to the voicemails, I did have a choice to change my phone, but there was the idea that something threatening can kick stuff into action. So it was almost an act of self-flagellation to be listening to them all the time.
All the messages she'd left you.
Yeah, yeah. But in the end, it did sort of speed things up a little bit. But yeah, it was a frustrating process. But I know a lot of people who've been through it have had it even more difficult than me. So. Yeah, so yeah, I think there's a widespread belief that it needs to change, that fundamental change needs to happen.
Did you ever find out why she walked into the pub that day, that first day when she walked in and sat at the bar?
No, but I've questioned it all the time because there was a distress or something had happened. And sometimes I question, was it the end of her stalking relationship with someone else and the beginning of a stalking relationship with me? I guess I'll never know, but I have often asked myself that, actually. Yeah.
How was it to relive all of that again? Because in one way, it must be terribly distressing and it almost takes you back to those, you know, there was over 41,000 emails. You're talking about listening to the voicemails, all that. It must be distressing. But in another way, there must be a slightly empowering moment about almost taking control of the situation and turning it into something positive.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I've got most out of art and in my life and writing and doing all these things. It has this uncanny sort of ability to sort of dwarf the magnitude of themes in your life. And when you're struggling with things and everything's on your shoulders and tight in your chest, just getting it out there, writing it down, putting it into something, it's been the best therapy for me. It's kind of been a lifesaver.
There's something about being a comedian, though, and being a writer and writing about your own experience that you have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
I wonder how much you've changed because you were just being generous and nice to this person. And it's had such a massive impact.
Yeah.
Has it changed, who you are as a person? Are you more guarded about interaction with people?
Oh, for sure, I think. Yeah. I think I definitely think twice now. I'm definitely, like, out of the... Because I was going through such a chaos of trauma back then. I definitely feel... It was a long time ago now. I definitely feel I'm more out of that. And I hope and I like to believe that things would play out differently now. Yeah.
Well, it's a brilliant series, a brilliant piece of writing.
Yeah.
Couldn't be any better. Congratulations. It's out on Netflix now.
Yeah.
You can watch it back to back to back. That's what we did, didn't we?
We did. Absolutely gripped. It's great to meet you.
Thanks
so much. Nice
Thanks,
to meet you too.
Richard. Thank you. And three of the friends who brought said racehorse join us now, as well as Showtime Mahomes himself, alongside trainer Grant. Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good morning, gents. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you. Can I just ask a quick question? How many pints had you had when you decided to buy this horse?
I think we lost count, haven't we?
Yeah. I had to strike while the iron was hot, you know. So after a 6 or 7, I maybe pushed the idea again. It started to snowball, and the next morning we got in touch with that man.
Yes.
But we also met over pints in the RA.
It's amazing what happens after a few beers.
Yeah.
It's the most wonderful documentary, this, in so many ways. Your friendship together, watching Showtime, do what Showtime does and how it's brought you all together. Actually, take us back to what it was about this idea that you had for you and your mates to get together and buy a racehorse. Because it's not the first thing that springs to mind to do with a group of mates.
No, so at the time it was COVID. So I think that sort of changed the mindset of the lads, because we couldn't go out, we couldn't spend our money, and I guess we were just sick, really. And, that just seemed to change the mindset of the lads, and again, it's snowballed from that, really. And we also found out that racing was going on behind closed doors, and beer was getting served behind closed doors.
There is an ulterior motive, I think, is what he's saying.
It's a strong theme.
Yeah. So once people found that out, we got more lads saying, "Oh yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I'll fancy that." And slowly but surely we got the whole band of brothers
together.
Yeah.
The muffed punt. I had to get that right, Steve. Can you just explain? That's the collective, the syndicate's known as the muffed punt.
Yeah.
Can you explain where that's come from?
Well, we're on all NFL fans, so I think it was COVID again. I think it was about December, January time, and we were all doing Zoom links, and so we could just meet up, drink on our own, but be together. And we were watching NFL games, and then it transcended into drinking games, and And then a muff punt probably happens one in every 10 or 20 games. But someone said, if there's a muff punt, we all take our tops off, swing them around in the front room and have the rest of our drink.
That's not in the documentary, by the way. No. That's for the follow-up.
It's for the adult version.
My wife thought I was going crazy when she see me in the front room just swinging my top around in the air. But it's what you need to do to keep yourself going through them times where you just couldn't go out and you couldn't be in the pub and things like that. And then the name just transcended from there, and I thought that's a great name for the party.
Yeah.
So tell us about the process, because the moment that Showtime won in York must have just been incredible. How did you get to that stage, the win?
Yeah, so our dream was just to get a runner at York, because in the North East, York's like our ascot, really.
Right.
So it's like 30 minutes away from our town. We've probably been going since we were 18-year-old, and it's just that iconic place. So our dream was, can we get a run there? And he ended up running there 6 times.
Yeah. The first race, we cheered the horse going into the stalls because Grant had to go down to the stalls handlers to help him go in, because he was saying beforehand he's not going in the stalls very well.
Too frisky.
Yeah, he's not going in very well. So we cheered it going into the stalls of the first race. That was the level of our expectations.
Amazing. And Mike, it's been the most brilliant journey, because of course there's the horse racing at the heart of it, but what's all the more important is the friendship between you guys in the partnership as well. And that's been hugely important for you, hasn't it? Because you sadly lost your wife, lovely Barbara, and your mum. And the friendship and the support you've had from your mates has been really, really important, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, when I lost Barbara and my mum in the space of 5 weeks, pretty dark days. I mean, that was in COVID as well. And then obviously getting together with these guys and getting a racehorse and taking us on this amazing journey. It's been fantastic. I wouldn't swap it for the world.
Giving you a bit of purpose as well.
Oh, yeah. You know, it makes days look... You know, when we go into the races, it's something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Getting together, getting smashed.
Mike's only small as well, so he gets smashed a bit quicker than the rest.
Is that why he's always eating? Because it's in the running theme as well. Mike's got to be fed.
So, Mike rates the courses by grub, as we call it, up north grub.
Yeah.
So he's...
York's the best.
York's the best for the food.
Catwick's worst.
There was one time, wasn't there, where she read the dessert menu out. She was going, we've got creme brulee, we've got sticky toffee pudding, we've got apple crumble. Mike went, yes.
All three.
There was options. There were options.
Well, Grant is down there with Showtime now. Good morning, Grant.
Good morning.
Good morning. So tell us a little bit about training Showtime.
Oh, Showtime's is a really easy horse to train. We've got quite a few here, and he's been a pleasure to have.
Has Showtime exceeded your expectations, though? Because the boys were saying they just wanted to get a runner at York, but to have a winner at York is exceptional.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very difficult to win at York with any horse, but when you're starting on such a low budget, it makes it even more difficult. So it's much more of a surprise.
Your ears just dropped out. Let's just get his earpiece just popped out.
Sorry.
That's OK. And how much is it to train Showtime, Grant?
The costs can vary with how many times he runs and where he runs at, but somewhere around the £2,000 a month mark.
So winning certainly makes a difference to the fees, of course. Grant, how do the owners of Showtime compare to your other owners?
Well, they're great fun and very enthusiastic. And I remember the very first time Showtime ran at York, he was in the 5:20 race, which was the last race of the day.
Oh, dear.
And some of them were struggling to stay upright at that point.
And I bet even more so after he won.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
There is some magical moments in this documentary. I urge everybody to watch it. It's on tomorrow night, I think, 9 o'clock on ITV and ITVX. But your families are all hugely important to all of you, Anthony. And your two boys, there's a wonderful... You've not seen the documentary yet, altogether.
No. Charlie and Jack.
Just be ready, because both of us were in tears watching your youngest son, particularly, when he's talking. And just tell us a little bit about your family and how important that is.
Yeah, so my oldest son, Charlie's autistic and non-verbal. So Jack's like a young carer, basically, like thousands of kids in the UK. And as we were filming the documentary, Jack kind of chipped in on one of the scenes, and I was just so proud of him, hearing what he the way he can speak and just his empathy, basically. So he's had to mature a bit more quickly than another 12-year-olds to say. So, yeah, I'm just looking we haven't seen it yet.
No.
So we don't see it till tonight. So we're just, my tissues are
ready to go.
Ready to go,
I think you're going to really, really enjoy it because there's the narrative of Showtime that runs through it. But you guys and your friendship and your families and exactly who you are as people and how you all take care of each other is just brilliant in this. I think you're going to
I'd imagine, Mike, you've started planning for the auditions for the film version of Showtime. Have you decided who you would like to play you in the film?
Maybe it's me.
Oh, you can do it yourself. You're going to do it yourself.
They couldn't take the food budget. They wouldn't be able
Probably
to
somebody like Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
Jeff's already got Danny DeVito filmed in.
Have you all planned who's playing who?
Yeah,
in the film?
George Clooney.
George Clooney, yes.
Obviously.
Anthony?
Henry Cavill, some of that.
Henry
yeah,
Cavill,
yeah, some of that sort.
Nice.
Amazing.
Well, it's on tomorrow on ITV at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
It's Showtime. Don't miss it.
It's
It's
a really wonderful,
great.
wonderful
really,
documentary.
Really
Good luck for the oncoming season as well.
Yes.
Grant, thank you very much in Showtime for joining us this morning.
Thank you. It
It is
was
beautiful horse.
And the horse
And
is
the
nice
horse.
as well.
Grant can play himself in the movie, by the way.
It's just getting hot in the studio, isn't it?
We're getting hot. It's getting hot.
Celebrate a special day if you celebrate a major milestone for our next guest.
Yes, what started as a bold idea turned into a cultural phenomenon, inspiring a hit film and a successful musical currently touring the UK.
Yeah, beyond the fame, the Calendar Girls' mission has always been about making a difference, and they've raised an incredible £6 million for Blood Cancer UK.
25 years since they originally dared to bear all. We're delighted to be joined by Angela, Trisha, Linda and Christine, the original Calendar Girls.
OGs.
Morning, welcome to the sofa. We are honoured.
Great to have you with us, ladies. So listen, Trisha, take us back 25 years ago.
Yeah.
The original idea and where it came from.
Well, probably 27 years ago at a WI meeting. WI do a traditional calendar every year which features pictures of hills and sheep and snowy scenes.
Bit boring.
Sometimes a letterbox. And we were asked if we had a photograph to submit for that calendar.
Yeah.
And I just turned to Angela and said we could do an alternative WI calendar featuring the crafts of WI but in the nude.
Yeah.
And she said as if. And it was a joke until John was ill.
Until then, John, you're John.
Yes.
So then
John,
he was diagnosed.
Yeah, which was such a shock because he was such a healthy person.
Yeah.
And he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a blood cancer. And it was such a shock.
So this spurred the idea, didn't it? And what did he actually think of the idea when you actually pitched it to him? He said, "Look, we're gonna get him out, Pap."
Yeah. He was in hospital because he was just ill for 5 months and he was in hospital all the time. But he did know about the calendar, and he said, he shook his head. He said, "You'll never do it. You just all talk."
And you don't say that to you lot, do you?
No, you don't say that to...
As soon as he says that as well, that's the gauntlet
to
thrown down then, isn't it?
feisty women. And we did it. And really, the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he did know about it. And for me and my family, that was such a big thing.
Oh, of course.
So lovely.
Yeah.
Christine, I mean, doing something like this, going naked, I mean, it's nice with your mates and stuff like that, but actually having your photos taken, it really takes you out of your comfort zone.
Oh, it did.
What was it like for you, the experience?
Terrifying. I mean, I have to admit,
She
terrifying.
agreed after a couple of bottles of wine and then she regretted it. A couple of glasses of wine.
Well, as I've said many times before, when you've stood in your friend's kitchen with your husband, with her husband stood at the other side of the table, pointing a camera at you, and you're stood there in your birthday suit with just a teapot between you and him, it's not normal.
There you are.
So good.
But it was a big teapot.
Doing September stuff.
It was a bit, but mate, I have to say, my dressing gown was round my ankles at all times.
You said it was a big teapot.
It was.
Because Linda, it was your husband Terry.
It was.
So you were sort of art directing the whole thing.
I was, yes. I found all the props for them around the house. Amazingly, you know, Terry had thought about each girl, how he would like to photograph her.
Yeah.
And we'll need this, we'll need that, Linda. So I was running around the house, finding the props, and it just worked. everything was there.
Fortunately, they had a side of press.
Have you still got the props? I mean, you can never look at that teapot again in the same way.
Well, actually, it was a big kettle, wasn't it?
It was.
And it came from across the road at the
village hall.
The village hall.
Oh, that's
because we needed a big one for Christine, because she was the bigger buns, you know.
I really was pouring the tea because Terry wanted the actual tea to be covering a little bit of something. So but it was a tiny cup, so we kept having to stop, take the top off the teapot, and pour the tea back in and start again. So
that spout was very conveniently positioned.
It was very cleverly done. Yeah.
You must have had so much fun and laughed at that day.
It was.
We did.
It was.
Apart
from Christine and Rose, Miss November, she was brave to do. Christine was brave to do, but we were just thrilled it was actually happening.
I love the story afterwards, though, because then obviously it becomes quite this kind of secretive, clandestine thing.
Yeah.
This is the age before digital...
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
We were...
It developed with someone you trust.
Yeah. And really, just as emails were coming out, and if it hadn't been that particular time, it had never gone.
We'd have been
never done.
We had to take the rolls of film to this little photography shop in Skipton and just say, please keep this a secret, don't tell anyone. And he did. He never told anyone. And he must have seen some terrible pictures of us.
But he didn't sell them to the News of the World,
No,
which still existed then.
No.
He was really good. He developed them as a form of sponsorship for us. Yeah. So he was a good guy.
Yeah,
was you worried about whether or not it was going to sell once it came
we were.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we were going to have 1,000, sell them for £5 each and make £5,000 for the charity.
Right.
And we would have been thrilled and amazed with that. But then Terry found the printer who said they'd only do a 3,000 order. So we had an emergency meeting to think who on earth was going to buy 3,000 copies of a calendar of us with no clothes on. And then we thought, we're going to go for it. What we don't sell, we'll mulch down, we'll make them into briquettes and we'll burn them on our fire.
But we didn't need to.
But it didn't work like that.
No.
They were gone.
So was there like a WI central office? And
head office.
We went to... we took our mock-up of our calendar to the head office of WI. We were very scared to go and to tell them what we'd done. Yeah. And even if they had have said, no, we don't want it, we would have done it.
We would have done it.
Because that's why we called it alternative WI.
And when we...
But they loved it.
And
gave us
these three ladies sat around and looked at it very quietly, and they looked at each photograph. And we thought,
we hate it.
Then we're going to be kicked out of the WI. And one of them turned to the other and said, well, I know what I'm buying my husband for Christmas.
That's right.
And then we were away. And then when it was a huge success, because it was tricky when I told our WI what we'd done, because we didn't tell anybody.
We didn't tell our
because
WI.
we were determined to do it. And if you ask for a lot of advice,
you get
it. So we didn't want anybody to stop us or be negative about it. So our husbands had seen none of the photographs till the day of the launch.
Brilliant.
So we were really... But I had to tell WI in the February before and there was just silence. Went down like a cup of cold soup.
Oh, did it?
Silence. Nobody said a thing. I just sat down again and thought,
But seriously, this went global. It went all over the world. They made a film. I mean, how involved was you with regards to Hollywood? How involved in the film was you?
A real lot. You know,
really?
I think it was 6 things I wanted. I wanted it to be shot in the Yorkshire Dales because John was the Assistant National Park Officer for the Yorkshire Dales. Yeah. I wanted it to be all British, with British actresses and actors, because I knew there were some great ones. Yeah. I wanted to be able to read scripts, sit round a table, and if there was something that we didn't like, that we could, talk about it. And I wanted high royalties for the charity. Yeah. And after 6 months, I got all that, and I signed on the dotted line.
Since then, we've got the musical. Gary Barlow wrote the musical. Yes. It's incredible. And Blood Cancer UK. I mean,
They've actually sent you a message, and they've actually sent this from everyone at Blood Cancer UK. We want to say a huge thank you to you and the Calendar Girls. Out of the tragedy of John's death from blood cancer has come something very special and inspiring. It has not only brought attention to the challenges faced by those with blood cancer, but also helped to raise £6 million, which is just incredible, helping fund significant advances in the blood cancer treatment. The Calendar Girls' unwavering support is bringing us ever closer to the day where no lives are lost from blood cancer. Oh, I've got emotional.
Yes.
Thank you, lady.
When we first started our fundraising, 9 out of 10 children would die from leukemia. And not just our money, but everybody who raises money for Blood Cancer UK. We've turned that round, so 9 will get better and 1 might not make it.
It's amazing.
So we have to keep going.
Well,
Everyone has to keep
only one
going.
question left, but we're going to keep going for a number 2.
No.
No.
Or maybe you could ring some very influential friends.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm the odd one out, you see.
Oh, you're up.
Mr. July has influential
I think
friends.
if we thought we were going to make another £6 million, I think we'd all do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd get involved in that one. I'd get the backs out for that. Do you know what I mean? I absolutely would. Well, I'd have 2 flowers. Actually, they're not big enough.
Oh, that's a good one.
Listen, Angela, Trisha, Linda and Christine, thank you so much for joining us. But
Powerful stuff.
Incredible.
Joined now by the author Heather Morris and Melanie Litsky, who plays Heather in the drama. Welcome to both of you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks for coming.
Yes,
Heather,
wonderful.
let's start with you. Series is based on the best-selling book, your book of the first name. So when did you and how did you first meet Lali?
I met him because I had a cup of coffee with a friend who simply said, I have a friend whose mother has just died and his father wants to tell somebody his story. That person can't be Jewish. You're not Jewish. Do you want to meet him? Oh, sure. I like meeting people. And I met him the next week. That was in December 2003. So nobody say this is an overnight success.
No.
No.
It's a long time
I guess
ago.
my question is, so were you looking to write at the time?
No, not at all. Not at all. I had a perfectly good career. I was fine. But he wanted to talk to somebody.
And you wanted to talk to someone that wasn't Jewish?
That wasn't Jewish, who would listen.
Because of you're one stage detached or removed from... Yeah. Okay.
There could not be a Jewish person alive, he said, who didn't have baggage and did not have their own story. And how can they tell my story when they've got their own?
Yeah.
Very clear on that.
So what did you do then? What was your... Because your initial take was to write a screenplay, correct?
Yes, because I didn't know how to write a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Because you didn't write a screenplay, you wrote a book.
Well, yes, I wrote the screenplay and it was even optioned in Melbourne with an attempt to try and make it into a feature film. And Lali was involved with that production company. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
But, of course, it didn't get up, as so many do, as you probably know. And it was only, I think in 2016, when I was visiting my brother and sister-in-law in San Diego, that my sister-in-law said to me, oh, for goodness sake, write the thing as a book and get on with it. She was tired of me complaining.
Yeah.
I gave it a go. I wrote a book.
Yeah.
Did you feel a sense of pressure knowing that you had to convey this story in the right way and you owed it to him to make it fantastic?
Look, you got it in one. I owed it to him and nobody else.
Yeah.
And I had been very clear from day one that I had not written the story of the Holocaust, that I've just written a Holocaust story.
Yeah.
Lali's story, his memory. It will differ to every other Holocaust survivors. And so when the facts didn't always meet up with what he was telling me, and if it wasn't significant, I went with his memory.
That's so interesting, that, like how a memory crystallises, and I think especially when you've been through the trauma that Lali would have been through. Melanie, let's bring you in. So this gets optioned, this gets made. Obviously, you don't feature in the book, so were you hesitant to start with, Heather, that you were going to be a character in the adaptation?
Oh, no. No, that was never part of the deal.
Right.
It was to tell the book. But the wonderful producer and screenwriter who spent a lot of time with me, to get more information, and Jacqueline went back to Claire, the producer, and said, I think we've got a story within a story. And they arm up the back. And I could see the value of it, but not necessarily for my character, but for having somebody portray Lali as an old man who was the man I knew. And that hearing now his words, the way I had heard them.
Yeah.
And then we got this incredible woman here to come in and... You'll remember this is 20 years ago. Okay, I was younger, so ignore the grey.
For goodness sake. So, Melanie, tell us, did you actually read the book beforehand, or did you get enticed by the script?
I had not read the book. I remember telling a friend, I got asked to do this thing, and she said, have you not read that book? And I was like, no, I haven't. She was like, oh, I thought everyone had read it. And so I read the book after I had read the screenplays. Yeah.
But the pull was the screenplay.
the screenplays were wonderful. The story is so compelling. It's an almost unbelievable story and beautifully written.
We interview a lot of actors now. We know a lot of actors who don't deliberately want to go back to the source material and they want to concentrate on the script and kind of do what the director and the writer feels like that part is just. So where's your mind at? Do you like to go and find out everything about it or the opposite?
This was kind of a different instance, I guess, because I'm not in the book, so there's a remove because of that. And then also just out of respect to Heather, I wanted to read her work, and I also was sort of reading it, imagining her writing it, imagining, like, how would it feel to write this paragraph? How would it feel to have heard this story and decide what to leave in and what to take out? So it wasn't like an immersive reading experience, but it was educational.
Well, what an exciting role to take on as well.
I know. And I got to have my own accent, which was nice.
Did
Yeah.
Well, 2 Kiwis.
Yeah.
It's like twins.
It must be nice for you, Melanie, because, like, for the most part, and you do a very good American accent,
Thank you.
For the most part, you rarely would use your own accent.
No, never. So that was very exciting. Yeah.
Do you feel pressure when you're playing somebody real?
Yes. It's horrible. Sorry. Again, sorry.
Stressful.
I did find it stressful because it's also like you can't really do like an impression.
No.
You know, because my role also in the series is kind of an audience surrogate. Like, you know, there's these harrowing scenes in Auschwitz and then it cuts back to somebody listening and taking it in. And there's a certain amount of like neutrality you have to have. So
well, up to recently, you thought you had Jewish heritage, didn't you?
I
A
did.
few years ago. Well, you would with your name, of course. It sounds cool.
Well, my name is Irish, as it turns
Really?
out. Yeah.
You should know that.
So what did you do
I'm
DNA?
only
And
Irish.
you have no Jewish? Oh, sorry about that.
Can we just let's go back to Lali?
I was so heartbroken. I believed it my whole life.
Let's go back to Lali and tell his story. So people that don't know the book, what did he have to do to survive?
He made the decision when offered the role. He called it numbering, by the way, not tattooing, but I thought that would be too complicated to keep with that phrase. He wanted to live. He was offered an opportunity to have this role, numbering the prisoners as they came in, and he took it. Did he have guilt about that? Absolutely he did. Every survivor of Auschwitz and any horror has survivor's guilt. It's a matter of degree. He made that decision, but for him, look what the outcome was.
I mean, and to be fair, I guess it wasn't a decision, because the decision was you either do this or you die.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
But he apologised every time he did it to people, didn't he?
Yes, and I know that for a fact. Oh, look, I hope I'll do this briefly. I was actually in Auschwitz there one day, and there was a camp, a whole lot of kids from a school in Florida, and they were off to the side from me, and they had some rabbis there talking to them about where they were. And one of the rabbis said that before they left Florida to come to Auschwitz, he went and saw 2 women in his congregation who had been here. And at that point, my ears pricked up, and he said, I asked them, what do you remember about being tattooed? Was it painful? And in unison, these 2 women said, as if he'd given them the question ahead, I don't remember if it hurt. What I remember is the man who kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. They don't know that I was sitting there listening to that, being told to these kids.
What do you want people to take from this? How important is it that the Holocaust lives on in our memory and we keep learning from it?
I want people to watch these episodes, and you may not enjoy them. That's not a word we can use, is it?
Yeah.
But when the episode ends, feel something. Just feel something. Anger, frustration, love, hurt, whatever. It's going to make you feel something.
Well, thank you, Heather. Thanks,
Thank you so
Melanie,
much.
as well.
Thank you,
Tattoos
Melanie.
Basket airs on Thursday, the 2nd of May on Sky Atlantic and on Now. The book is available to buy now. Thank you.
Lovely. It's time to...
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're very well. There is, of course, a reason why Alison and I are in ballet shoes. We're about to become honorary members of the Silver Swans.
That's very, very true.
Dedicated ballet school for the over 55s.
Now, thankfully, we are not alone. As you saw earlier, our classmates have been limbering up. Isn't that right, classmates? You all right? Yeah. It's good to see you. They are the most graceful swans you've ever seen. We've got Norma, we've got Brian, we've got Hetty, and we've got Chris.
And keeping them in check, because let me tell you, you have to, is Silver Swan ballet teacher Raquel Ashton. Something lovely for you to join us. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about the Silver Swans. How do they come about? How do you get involved with them?
OK, so the Silver Swans is a ballet programme that was launched by the Royal Academy of Dance in 2017.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes. And its research was based on dance practice for older learners, and the focus is on health, well-being, mobility and building self-confidence.
And you don't have to have danced before to be part of it.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah, so
Yes.
And Raquel, you say working with the Silver Swans is your favourite members to work with.
They really are. They're the most rewarding group to work with because you literally see a transformation happen right in front of you. The bodies get stronger, more flexible, more coordinated, better balance, better posture.
And keeps you fit, doesn't it?
It keeps you very fit.
It keeps you very fit. Well, someone who's keeping very fit is you, Brian. How long have you been doing it for, and what is it you love about it?
5 years I've been doing it, and what I love is keeping fit by trying to be graceful to beautiful music. It's very simple. And you're not all sweaty and groaning in the gym or ploughing up and down a swimming pool. You're smiling and enjoying yourself.
Yes,
That's the great thing. I mean, the Royal Academy of Dance is the most amazing organisation. Everybody is lovely there. It is efficient, it is innovative, it is creative. It's a quite marvellous organisation.
And I suppose you get lots of friends as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We all get on extremely well together because we all have the same sort of ideas.
And how young are you, Brian?
I am very nearly 85.
Wow.
Are you joking, Brian?
No, I'm not joking, unfortunately.
It's because he's so fit.
Yeah.
He's coming to his ballet. Norma, what do you love about being in the Silver Swans?
I have, I'm afraid my voice is a bit croaky today, but I just love the whole joy of it. It's a joyful experience, and I look forward to it every Friday.
Norma, did you have a late night last night? Is that what happened? You lot? We put you up in a hotel one night and you absolutely smashed it all night long. Is that what's happened, Norma? Is that what's going on?
No, it's not actually, but you can tease me if you like.
But you do see this as your highlight of your week, don't you?
I do actually, yes. I danced since I was 6.
And what I love about it is there's not too much pressure on you to get it right, is there?
Absolutely not. Exactly right. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, it's all right, Brian.
Yeah, no, but that is the whole point.
Yeah.
They don't pull you up when you do things wrong, which one does inevitably the whole time. The whole thing is about enjoying oneself and trying to do these graceful movements and failing in my case, of course.
Chris, let's go over to you. What got you involved, Chris?
When I was working with Age Concern, as one of the other colleagues brought in a magazine, the Saga magazine.
Yep.
In it was a feature on the Company of Elders at Sadler's Wells. Well, that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Good for dance, good for older people, so I joined.
And how do you feel with that? What difference has it made to your life?
No aches and pains.
Oh.
Coordination has improved.
Yeah.
My balance, my posture, and it's given me so much confidence and self-esteem. You just feel so proud of yourself that you can do it at my age.
Builds up the old glutes as well, doesn't it? Eh?
Yeah.
Need a bit of that.
It's good for strength and stamina.
I'm with you. How old are you, Chris? If you remind me.
84 last week.
84. Hey! Congratulations. Happy birthday. Come on. Hetty, how do you get involved and what does it mean to you?
Largely mental health. It has been amazing.
Yeah.
The music, the dancing.
Yeah. I mean,
Kept me on my
you look
feet.
like you've done Swan Lake a few times back in the day.
Little
I mean,
bit.
did you dance when you were younger?
Yes.
Yeah,
I did,
okay.
Yes.
And I know it's...
But I didn't dance for 45 years. I didn't do a
45
step
years.
until I came to Silver Swans at the Royal Academy of Dance.
Wow. OK. And I know it's helped you over some health concerns you've had as well. You got cancer, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and did that give you the motive? Were you doing it before you were diagnosed with cancer?
Only 2 classes.
OK.
And then I came back to it immediately.
Yeah, I was going to ask, was it a motivating factor in terms of you getting up and at 'em, I suppose, after...
Totally.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Totally.
So how do the classes work, Raquel? Is it like, because obviously, you know, Hetty's done it before and some of the guys might be new, so is it sort of all comers and you...
Yes, we welcome everybody, so it's all inclusive. The classes are taken at a slightly slower pace, and we tailor parts of the class to each of the individual needs of the students.
Yeah.
The class is slower. We minimise pirouettes and jumps. You can do the class seated, working the arms and the legs. We can just give the option of doing just one half of the enchaînement, which an enchaînement is a number of steps put together. So they can just do half of that. They could just do the bar.
My wife does ballet bar, and she comes back after ballet bar, and she says it's the best exercise she gets. She's absolutely shattered in a good way when she comes back from it. It's just properly worked. It's a good core strength.
Very good for core strength, very good, as you said, for glute strength. It strengthens the legs, it strengthens the body.
And like Hetty said, it's great for mental health, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And someone who's, advocates mental health, charities and things like that, is Camilla.
Yes.
Our queen. She's been to the class. What is she like?
Yes. Oh, she's fantastic. She's also a Silver Swan and takes classes.
Does she love it?
She does, yes. Yes.
OK, well, listen, we've got 2 new students in the house today. So where do you want us? What are we going to do?
Well...
Dermot's ready.
Dermot is more than ready. OK, so just find a space at the bar.
OK.
So if we can... That's it. Fabulous.
Sorry, Raquel.
That's
I'm ready.
Absolutely fabulous. Wonderful. Now, we're going to put our feet in first position.
Oh, yes.
So we want to feel that we're drawing up at the front, pulling down at the back. Our heels are drawing together. We're picking up our elbows. Our shoulder blades are pressing down. And you can put your hand on the bar there, Alison. That's it. Fantastic. Good. Now, from here, just keep your arm a little bit further forward, Dermot, so it's there. And just watch your thumb. Fabulous. Now, from here, we're going to take a demi-plie, pressing the knees out over the toes, and then we're stretching. Keep those legs nice and strong, drawing up from here. And again, demi-plie, and coming up. Good. And again, demi-plie, keep going. And a stretch. Fabulous. That's lovely coordination, Alison. Beautiful.
Thank you.
And demi-plie, pressing the knees out over the toes. And stretch. That's it, Dermot. Keep your fingers together. And so a little bit closer together. That's it. Make sure your knees track over your toes. Fabulous.
Over the
Good.
toes?
Yeah, so over your second toe. And bend and stretch. Now, let's see if we can go a little bit deeper now.
Oh,
And
deeper.
press, 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 press. Slightly release the heels off if you want to. And then slowly coming back up
Hetty.
again.
Oh, yes.
Hetty, all the way down.
Yes.
Going all the way down.
Fabulous. Have a go. And demi-plie. And all the way down. Release your heels. OK. So if you imagine you have an egg on your head,
Got dizzy.
Alison. OK. Just take it easy. Let's just
all right,
stop there. You OK?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
I haven't
Tell
been
you
down there
what.
for a while.
Fantastic.
Absolute marvel.
That was lovely.
OK. Would you like to do some more?
Well, we will, but we'll have to wait till afterwards. Right?
OK.
Is that
All
right?
right.
I enjoyed that.
That's
It's just a marvel. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Just as a little thank you for coming down, although Norma was out all last night, so I don't know if it's... She is definitely the trouble ringleader. Thank you for letting us join your class, allowing us to become honorary Silver Swans.
Yeah.
We've reached out to a couple of our friends out there, and our friends at the Royal Ballet have invited you to spend the evening together at the Royal Opera House at London's Covent Garden. We'll be watching the Royal Ballet's brand new production of Swan Lake starting this June, one of the best seats in the house. As a big thank you from the Royal Ballet and, of course, all of us to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your time. Enjoy.
We will.
Welcome back. Oh, what's going on here?
Is it just me, or things got a little bit chilly and spooky in here?
It's a little bit spooky, perhaps. It's because in the United States right now, a couple, Rebecca Carmichael and Catherine Elaine, are waiting to tell us all about a mysterious man who's become the third person in their relationship.
He's called Rupert. He's from Wales. And here's a ghost. Good morning to the pair of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, thanks for joining us. I know, imagine it's very early there. Rebecca, let's start with you.
Yes.
Rupert the ghost, he loves you, he lives with you. Who is he? How did your relationship start?
Well, it started with me walking past a very haunted place later in the evening time, and he was concerned that I was walking home alone. That was back in 2020. And let me just tell you, it was nothing that happened overnight. It's not like I was going searching and being like, yes, who can I add to, my dating repertoire? This was, I would say, a combination of fate and accident and a lot of open-mindedness.
Okay, well, I'm very open-minded, and I have noticed there's a third chair right there next to you. Can I ask the question, has Rupert joined you today?
He is here in spirit.
Oh, lovely. And what does he look like? Because I've heard that you've made an AI version of him. Can you give us the lowdown on what he kind of looks like?
Yeah, so when he's very tall, which is very comical for me because I am 5 feet tall, he is 6'6". Wow. Goodness, I could do a conversion of meters and probably embarrass myself right now.
Right, no.
So, but he is blonde, blue eyes.
Yeah. Oh, he sounds nice.
Wonderful. I'm getting Disney
and
vibes.
Lean build.
Oh, we've got the picture. We can show the pictures. We've AI'd him up, right? It says you're AI. Can we take a look at him? Oh, yeah.
Dr. Scott.
It's Dr. Scott.
Yeah.
You're literally going out with Ghost Dr.
Do you know what?
This is our resident vet. Hey, listen. So, I mean, he's got the looks. But Rebecca, did you see him first, or did you hear him? Like, do you get apparitions, or is he just present?
That's a really great question. It's a combination of different senses. I saw him with my physical eyes, which is called clairvoyance. I saw more of him with my inner eye clairvoyance, so that's like mental imagery. And I'm also clairsentient, so that's the ability to pick up on electromagnetic shifts or to actually feel like goosebumps or heat or cold, that sort of thing. So it was kind of a combination of like my brain saying, something is there or someone is there. And then I looked up and I was like, oh, there's an outline of a man.
Yeah. Handsome, revolutionary from Wales from the 1700s.
And he's hot as well. I'd definitely speak to him. So, obviously, you then met Catherine, who came into your life and became your living partner, who you love dearly. How did you introduce Rupert to Catherine? And, Catherine, was you cool with this situation?
Well, I came into this situation aware that Rupert existed, and
You helped to prove his existence.
I helped to prove his existence,
which is super cool.
because I am a paranormal investigator, so I had all the fancy tech and equipment that I could use to be like, hey, let's see if we can catch him on some of this equipment, and we did. So I was aware, and I was like, all right, I can handle this.
Nice. And Catherine, did you have your own side action on the ghost going on yourself? Did you, anyone that you were seeing at the time before you got involved with these two?
Wow, it's so funny you say that. No.
Not at all. So tell me how this relationship, Rebecca, tell me, what do you get from Rupert that you don't get from Catherine?
And vice versa.
Gasp. Oh, my goodness.
I'm ready.
It's a good
ready.
question, isn't it? It's a good question.
Break this to you. Oh, no.
Drama alert. Go for it.
So, one, I just want to lay out the context of the question might imply that either one of them leaves me needing in some area.
I'm great.
I would agree, actually. One thing with poly relationships, which I would consider this an extension of that, is sometimes you hang out all together. Sometimes you fill in time in different places. Oftentimes when I'm going on a walk, that's a time that I can spend with Rupert. And then coming back home, we can watch TV together. And sometimes we all hang out at the same time. We do have similar interests. We really enjoy going to historic places. Mm-hmm. And both of you fill my life in very different ways, emotional ways, and just, oh goodness, it's even hard to explain because I feel so full. And it's a unique thing, and it's certainly not something that I would say, hey, everybody, run out and do this, because no, I would not recommend. It comes with a lot of understanding as you might imagine.
Yeah. Catherine, do you get to spend any one-on-one time with Rupert?
I do, yes. I do hang out with Rupert. We have talked about history together. I've asked him questions about from where I grew up, things that he might understand about where he's from. We just kind of hang out. We joke with each other. We both have a very similar sense of humor and...
Dry.
Yeah, very dry.
We like dry.
It's very dry and it's great.
I've got a question. This is try. I don't know. Either of you can maybe answer it. So we would like to have Rupert here with us, invite him to the studio.
Obviously, we did invite him to the studio, didn't we?
So could he actually be able to come? Like, could he operate in different places in your experience, or a ghost kind of stuck to the place that they inhabit or they're passed in?
Well, he was stuck for a while. I found him outside of a house that he would have been outside of in 1781. That was when Wilmington was occupied by the British Army, and he was a part of the British Army. I don't think I mentioned that. So the first time I saw him, he was in a red coat, which, I mean, that was cool. Like, that was cool. That being said, for a ghost to travel, oftentimes they need a kind of anchor point. So unless one of you are like psychic mediums or something like that, I don't think he could just pop over, like it's not as easy sometimes.
Fair enough.
Gotcha.
We understand. Obviously, I'm in this story. I'm invested. However, there's going to be people out there going, this is a bit hard. They're a little bit cynical. What would you say to those people?
I would say it's just like when someone that you love has, passed away, you don't lose love that you've had for that person. You continue to love that person even after. And I met so many people who were like, yes, I still feel my loved one with me. It's the same concept. It's just they met under different circumstances.
Correct. And Rupert and I have an understanding. He doesn't want to get in the way of me having a physical existence, of living a full life. He's not around to keep that from me. So that's why the two of us being together, that brings some joy. And it's the same thing with past loved ones too. Oftentimes, if a partner passes on, they want the person who's still alive and around to have a fulfilling life. And that's the most kind of selfless love.
Good for you guys. You're happy, you're not hurting anyone. You go, you live your lives.
You're living your best life as far as I'm concerned. Thank you so much for joining us.
Rebecca. Thanks, Catherine. Thanks, Rupert Oops.
I want a Rupert in my life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Love you too.
I want a Rupert.
Will haunt you.
Will you?
To the day you die.
Well, if I die first, I'm going to do the same to you.
I want you to.
Now, our next guest has endured years of torment at the hands of a stalker she only ever met once.
Yeah, so it's Jenny Pickering. Thanks for joining us, Jenny. Was left too terrified to even close her eyes in the shower after her stalker, Jan Schlossler, bombarded her with sexual messages, moved near to her house to be closer to her, and even proposed to her at a workplace.
As her tormentor is set to be released from jail for a third time, Jenny is joining us to open up about her shocking ordeal in the hope that helping others she can help. She's here with criminologist, a psychologist, Dr. Shoham Das. Morning to both of you.
Morning, both of you.
Thank you for joining us. Let's start off with you, Jennifer, because you worked in a centre which recruited people.
Yeah.
And you were just going about your day as normal.
Yeah.
And tell us from that moment what happened.
So I put an advert out, and as with everything, I got a lot of response. The person that responded to the advert lived in Peterborough, and this was Jan. I was working in Leicester at the time, and he wanted to be a driver. Now, as driving hours are, you can't actually drive over a certain amount per day. He wanted to add a 2-hour journey onto that, which was already strange for me. So I kind of pushed back a little bit, but he was quite determined that he wanted this job. So I said, OK, bear in mind you'll be travelling an hour there, an hour back. He came into the office, he spent 4 hours filling an application form that took 45 minutes.
Why was it taking so long?
It was a strange situation, but he was kind of just sitting at the end of the office, didn't need any help with it. But you can't force anybody to sort of say, you know, I need to fill this in, can you leave? So you just have to sort of carry on. Yeah, carry on. He was very much wanted the position, so I put him forward and he got the job. which then meant that he was working kind of with me on a weekly basis with checking in timesheets and making sure his hours were all correct.
But Jenny, just for context here, you've only met him in person once.
Once.
And for how long?
Probably spent 10 minutes talking to him,
Right,
4 hours in the same building.
Then it's 4 hours in the same building.
Yeah.
And then your contact with him after that is just you checking in schedule-wise and...
Timesheets once a week.
So when did the red flag start?
Immediately.
Really?
He started to send me texts each day just to say, I've had this, you know, I've had a good day, I've done this, done that. They started to get more frequent. They started to become in the middle of the night. I kind of felt sorry for him to begin with. I thought, OK, he's a lonely driver, he works long hours, it's just the situation that he's in. But then I started to realise that this is a little bit more. When I started to feel really uncomfortable, we reported it. So we reported it to the police.
Was that just a gradual thing? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, out of office hours is bad, but did it become inappropriate?
It did become inappropriate when it was reported. It kind of happened within 48 hours. So he was sending me a lot of messages, and then all of a sudden he was sending me pictures of himself dressed up in a suit saying, I'm dressed up for you, I'm standing outside the car park, are you here?
No.
In Leicester, yeah, there's about 4 or 5 multi-storey car parks that I'd use, and he would go to each car park and send me a picture, almost taunting me with the car park behind, saying, which car are you driving? I'll be here at 4:30. So every time I finished work, I knew he was going to be looking for me because he knew where I worked. He just wasn't brazen enough to sort of come in to me at the time. It escalated, and he did then turn up. I'd already reported it to the police, and he turned up, he stood at the window with flowers and a ring, and he wanted to get married to me.
So did all your colleagues know what was going on?
Yeah, so we were talking about it on a regular basis and saying, look, it's starting to get a little bit weird. We were an office of women. We didn't have any men in there at the time, and we all sort of were of the same opinion. We know that as a woman, you know that you can have unwanted attention, but you kind of ignore it and it will go away. But then it got to the stage where I'd said, stop doing this. It's making me feel uncomfortable, and you will lose your job if you carry on. And he carried on, and I think that's when we all started to say, what the hell's going on? Because you don't know him.
Do you think he's enjoying the fact that he's upsetting you?
I think at the start, he possibly did prey on the fact that it was just women in the office, because he was very aware of that. So when he turned up at the window, he came in and he was told to leave, but he did force himself... No, he didn't push anybody, he didn't force physically, but he forced himself back in the office on a second time that day, and that's when he was arrested.
And he was given a lifetime restraining order?
Wasn't immediately, so he was arrested, and that's where it became scary. So I already felt uneasy. When they arrested him, they found a lot of things on his phone. He had been actively stalking me. He'd been staying in a hotel that was next door, but then wrapped over the top of the office. He'd been staying in the hotel. He'd been in cafes across the road. He'd been, for some reason, taking a bus that looped round past the office just to look through. And at that very moment, when he was arrested that day, they found out that he'd actually moved on that day from Peterborough to live probably about 2 minutes from my house. He'd overheard as he was sat in the 4 hours where I lived, and he moved that day.
You must be thinking, what have I done to deserve... I literally spend like 45 minutes in your company and that's it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Trying to get him a job, trying to help him as well.
Unbelievable. They literally rang me 11:30 and said, we're just releasing him. By the way, he is going to be living within 2 minutes of your house.
So it now feels like you're in this cycle of... He's got this lifetime restraining order, but theoretically, and he's not allowed to live in Leicester, but theoretically he could be living 5 miles away from you, and that's OK.
100%.
And every time he comes out, he just reoffends.
Yeah, he doesn't mean anything.
So then they just put him back in prison, but he doesn't care. So every time he comes out, he does the same thing.
Yeah.
So he's breaching it every single time?
Every time. He did it within 2 hours. He came out of prison on one occasion and he went straight into a shop, bought a phone and rang me within 2 hours of his release. And he just said, hi, baby, it's me.
Oh, my
And I was just sat there. I didn't even know he'd come out of prison, and my mouth just hit the floor.
And how have the police been?
They've been amazing.
Yeah.
Really good. I understand that the law isn't necessarily great against stalkers at the moment, so they had to wait. And it was hard to begin with because I was a sitting duck. They had to wait for laws to be broken for anything to happen in a way. I mean, they did at one point tell me that I needed to collect DNA underneath my fingernails.
What?
And put my hands in my pockets because they thought he was going to attack me, and that would then give them the evidence to charge him. And that left me very scared to think that something's going to have to happen to me.
I hope, well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Obviously, he's put Facebook statuses on that he's with you and things like that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
How has this impacted your life?
It's changed me completely. I used to be really outgoing, and I'm not anymore. I just don't want to meet anybody because I don't know what they're going to do or who they are. And it's not that everybody's a bad person, but I never expected in a million years for somebody to be this unhinged. And I'm very caring as a person, and I think I justified it a lot to say you don't know what somebody's going through, they might be lonely, and it actually, you need to stand up straight away. As soon as it feels uncomfortable, stand up and say, because honestly, it's only going to be you that suffers.
You're
and that's
just being
how
a nice person, aren't you?
Yeah,
but that doesn't, you deserve your happiness, and you deserve your privacy, and you'll just be able to live a normal life.
Yeah.
Sho, I'm sorry I haven't come to you first. It's just such a sort of compelling story. So, OK, firstly, how does someone become a stalker? Why does someone become a stalker? What sort of stalkers are there?
Yeah, so there's different categories of stalkers, and we can categorise them in terms of their motivation, right? So you can get your rejected stalker, who is somebody that's already been in a relationship with the victim and they're trying to reconcile the relationship. They won't take no for an answer. Then you have a resentful stalker, which is not necessarily about a romantic connection, but it's somebody who feels aggrieved. They feel like the victim. It could be an argument over property, for example, and they do whatever they can to make the victim's life hell. And then you have an incompetent suitor, which is what I think is relevant in Jenny's case. So that's somebody who genuinely thinks that what they're doing, from their perspective, is romantic.
Like a fantasist kind of thing.
Yeah, a fantasist. And there's even a subcategory of that called erotomania, which is a mental illness. And I do wonder whether Jenny Stalker has this, even though he's not been diagnosed with this. And that's having delusional ideas, so actually believing that you're in a relationship.
See, what I don't understand, though, is how he's been declared sane, because it just doesn't sound like rational, sane behaviour.
No. It's hard to know for definite without assessing him in person, but it's not inconceivable that he could have hidden his thoughts and his delusional beliefs because he knew that it would be the quickest way for him to leave hospital. Because I believe he was in a psychiatric unit.
He was, yeah, and he was calling me from the psychiatric hospital.
Oh, my God.
Do you think these stalkers can really love in their head?
It depends on the category. So if you've got somebody like a resentful stalker, or the one that I hadn't mentioned yet, which is the predatory stalker who gets a perverse pleasure from making their victim feel uncomfortable, and I think there is an element of that in a stalker. I don't think those people can or want to change. But if it's something like a mental illness which can be treated in theory with medication, or if there's risk factors, so for an example, substance misuse is highly correlated with stalking behaviour, right? So you have people that become disinhibited when they drink or take drugs, for example. So you remove those kind of risk factors through rehabilitation, then you reduce the risk of the stalking behaviour.
And Dr. Shaham, can you spot early on the signs of someone who could potentially be a stalker?
Yeah. I think if you're previously in a relationship with them, then there are red flag signs, like somebody being controlling, dominating, controlling somebody's finances, watching where they go. I think in Jenny's case, there wasn't enough time to spot it, really. I mean, it happened so quickly. So worrying behaviour would be anything that makes the victim feel uncomfortable, whether it's unwanted attention, text messages like happened in your case, so anything that's just pushing the boundaries that feels uncomfortable to the victim.
Jenny, before we let you go, obviously we get so many people on the sofa that, like, just circumstance and life happens to them, and then, they become an unintentional expert in the world they find themselves in. What would you like to see change? Is there a law that could be more robust here?
I'd like to see a lot more support for people that are going through this kind of situation, because the first thing that I found was when it happened to me, everybody thought I'd been in a relationship with this person, and I had to keep explaining I don't know him.
Don't know him.
Yeah.
Met him once.
There's no advice that I could go. Even the Stalkers Helpline was geared up to say it was your ex-boyfriend, and it was just... I felt so lonely, and I think because we're all sort of, we're all online and a lot of more internet stalking happens, this is something that is actually really common but doesn't get brought first and foremost to the attention of, the nation, or go into the paper because it's just so... It's online, it's on Facebook, and it gets a closed deal. So I think there's a lot more that needs to be done with regards to support for people that don't know the stalker. And I would like to,
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Charm, thank you so much for joining us.
Eczema is something that affects 1 in 10 adults and 1 in 5 children, and is a condition our next guest has been battling with since birth.
Now, Amy Aston had been managing her symptoms with steroid medication, but in January this year, Amy says her usual steroid creams suddenly started to burn her skin, making her eczema the worst it has ever been.
Yeah, so she hopes stopping her medication will resolve the issue, Then it made it worse. She was hospitalised and left fearing for her life after experiencing severe withdrawal symptoms.
Now, Amy joins us now to share her story alongside dermatology expert Dr. George McCreath. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, I just said in that very sentence, her eczema flared up. And I'm just going to come to you, George. Is it eczema, the flare-up after using the steroid cream?
Well, that is precisely the controversy. And the question is, yes, if you've got an inflammatory skin condition that's being controlled by a treatment like topical steroids and you stop those steroids, it will almost certainly flare back up again. And that's the view of most dermatologists, that they're seeing these patients whose skin's become inflamed, and if only they'd put the steroids back on their skin, things would calm down and get better. But the patient knows their skin, they know what's going on in their body, and they know that putting the topical steroid on in this condition is what's causing the skin to become totally unstable. And so it's a completely different entity. Not common, we don't know how common it is, because there isn't a label for it that the profession has accepted. And so we can't do prevalence studies for this. But I think it's a lot more common than is acknowledged by the profession. And in this condition, the skin just becomes really wild. It becomes red all over, far more widespread than the eczema was. Red, painful, a pain beyond anything they've ever experienced. Itch of a different intensity, peeling, red and weeping and utterly inflamed. And it's not that putting more steroids on would calm that down. They would bite your hand off to have topical steroids if that was the answer.
OK, well,
it's the topical steroids that drive it.
Let's hear Amy's story, because this is what this is a lived experience. You've been through it. You've been on social media talking about it. When did you first notice that you suffered with eczema?
So as a baby,
so all your life?
Yeah, I've basically grown up with, diagnosed with eczema, and I've got various other things, like allergies. I've got celiac disease, so kind of autoimmune things going on with my body. But obviously, from an early age, my mum was given steroid creams to use, and she did so, from the advice of the doctors, and I've continued to do that, up until January.
And how was it working for you up until then? Like, did you feel the benefits growing up with it?
Yeah, so lots of people describe it as magic. They'll say that cream is magic. It gets rid of your, eczema, and but for me, it just, there was a turning point over the last couple of years where I just felt like it was that withdrawal. My skin kind of, it would heal, but then it'd come back with a vengeance a few days later.
Even though you were still taking it?
Yeah, and I'd put more on to try, or I'd be given a stronger steroid cream to use, and it's just obviously progressed over the last couple of years and got worse and worse.
How did this affect your life?
I'm surrounded by so much support that actually I feel quite lucky in the fact that, my work are so supportive. My husband is my absolute rock, and my family, my sisters, and I've got such a good support network that I'm really lucky in the fact that they've supported me. But my mental health over the years has been so up and down because of my skin.
Yeah.
Cancelled plans, with friends.
Oh, amen.
Watching my children growing up, when I've just recently been in hospital, my daughter was about to take first steps. And I was so worried that I was saying to my husband, sit her down. If she looks like she's going to walk, sit her down. I don't want to miss it. So, it's...
So you couldn't even lift up your baby?
No,
because it was so sore?
No cuddles. They knew, so they'd try and come to me and say, can I just give you a bit of a hug? And, yeah, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It has been horrendous.
So, Amy, when you withdrew and you came off the steroid cream, how long did it take before your symptoms got a lot worse?
So I stopped using them. I decided to stop using them myself in January.
Because of the pain?
Because of the pain it was causing when I was putting it on, and I felt like they were making it worse.
Yeah.
So I just listened to myself and said, why am I doing this to myself? So I stopped. And it probably took a month for it to become at the height of the worst of it, where I was getting the symptoms of like swelling in my face, my glands swelled up, the burning sensation, but feeling freezing cold. Probably took a month to get to that stage, so it just got progressively worse over that amount of time, really.
So is it affecting your throat and everything, like being able to eat and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was in a lot of pain with my glands, you know, everything swollen. So yeah, it was affecting me in every possible way. It was affecting me basically. Sleep, couldn't sleep because of the itching, oozing from every part of my skin. You know.
Oh my goodness.
George, so this is topical steroid withdrawal, right? The TSW. So it's not much is known about it. There's not an awful lot of research done about it. Correct.
Correct.
So what do you think needs to be done? What can be done to help people like Amy?
Well, I think a number of things need to be done. Obviously, it isn't always topical steroid withdrawal.
Yeah.
So it can sometimes be an inflammatory skin condition that's been suboptimally treated. It could be an allergic reaction to the topical steroid, and that is described to topical steroid molecules. But there's this specific entity, which Amy has just described beautifully, and is devastating from the patient's point of view. A study showed that 16% of patients with this contemplate suicide. That's nearly 1 in 5. Mm. And part of that is because what I think needs to be done is the medical profession has been, to a large extent, blinkered to this diagnosis, partly because we don't know how to manage it. We don't know what to do. And for years, we've used topical steroids for inflamed skin, and that's our go-to thought. And suddenly, this is the thing that might be driving it. So we feel incapacitated. Mm. So the profession needs to accept it and listen to our patients and respect our patients and work with them, not against them. I've even had parents of children with this condition. It's usually young women between the ages of sort of 18 and sometimes under 18 up to sort of 35, more than men, but it also affects men, typically younger people, and mostly affects the face and the genital area, delicate skin areas, which are awful. And often they don't get much good response from the medical profession, so they don't come to us, so we don't know how often it is. But it can affect children. And I had the parents of a child who the doctors reported them to social services because the parents refused to put more topical steroids on their skin. And they weren't doing it because they knew the topical steroids were driving it.
And is there an alternative?
There's this war going on, and with social media and the medical profession, we need to come together. And the British Association of Dermatologists and the National Expert Society have been working fantastically to produce some guidance and some leadership here, and had written some position statements and working with the medicine MRHA, who license products, to try to get some acknowledgement of what's really going on here, so the profession can start to work effectively with their patients rather than against their patients.
Amy, is there anything you take now? Where is your life now? Is there anything that works for you?
That soothes you. And anybody out there who's in the same position, what would you use now instead of the steroid cream?
I wish I'd got the answers, but I can obviously only describe what I've been sort of doing over the last couple of weeks, but it's things like, so Dead Sea salt baths, when I'm oozing, that really helps to kind of like stop that, and it's soothing, or oat baths. That's kind of the only time the itch kind of goes away, sitting in a bath, but trying not to stay in too long. I've bought myself a scratch star from Cozy Care that's it's supposed to help with the, my nails, at my skin. Okay. It's a softer, and they've got a nice smooth roller as well, so I've been using that. I've been trying out different creams that maybe, I think it's a shame because it's a case of trial and error to find a cream that is suitable for your skin. But different types of emollients. There's, the creams side of things as well.
Can I just
like I say, I wish I got the answers.
I do not want the message to go out there that people should stop their topical steroids. Because I could not manage skin disease without using topical steroids. And for the vast majority of patients who use a topical steroid, they are fantastic. They don't smell, they're really powerful, they're clean, and they're inexpensive. So for the vast majority of patients who have a skin disease that can be controlled with a topical steroid, they should continue to use them as recommended by the doctor, the right quantity, in the right strength, in the right areas. We shouldn't stop that. But when this happens, I'm delighted here that you can do this to your skin, because a lot of people say their skin is so sore they can't even wash. They can't put their skin in water. And putting an emollient on, which is normally soothing, stings intolerably. So this is a different, specific entity that needs a lot of research.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
you. I really appreciate you coming today.
Can help, some people out there as well.
Tell us what really happened in Buckingham Palace.
Morning, Mark.
Welcome to
Morning.
the show.
Lovely to be here.
Oh,
Good
I'm
to have
so
you with us.
excited. So you've interviewed a lot of high-profile people. This is something that you've done on a regular.
Yeah, nothing quite like this, though. I think the closest I ever came to it was Margaret Thatcher, just after she was dethroned. She actually made a record, which not many people know about, and I, again, turned up at Abbey Road Studios and just suddenly found myself in a room with Margaret Thatcher.
Wow.
And again, I
part of
didn't
me
know what I
wants
was
to just
gonna
go
do.
down that rabbit hole.
Me too.
She made a record.
She did. She did a speech over an orchestra. I think I have the only copy available, but yeah.
And it's never been released?
No, it has been released, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And like that, but you knew what was going to happen that day, didn't you?
No, I also didn't know, but it didn't still have quite the seismic impact that this has.
So this is Newsnight. Have you done any work with Newsnight before?
I've worked with him a long time before, but yeah, this was the result of a friend of mine having left London, moved to Cornwall, couldn't do the job, and he said, "Why don't you try Mark?" So thank goodness they did.
Thank goodness for him.
Talk us through the day. What happens? You got the call, what, the night before, the day before?
Get a call the night before, 6:30, sitting watching television, and phone goes, and they say, "Are you free tomorrow?" And it's like a panicked voice. And I said, "It depends on what it is, because I have this dishwasher coming and I don't wish to miss it."
Yeah.
And they said they can't tell me, and they said I've got 1 minute to decide whether I want to do it.
What?
See, I'm curious already.
Well, immediately you're in, aren't you?
I'm curious too. At that
They've
point.
played a blinder there, because there's no way someone says you've got a minute to decide, you go,
Yeah.
well, do it.
Yes, no. Well, I put the phone down, looked at my wife, and we thought, well, if it's that and they can't tell me who it is and I need security clearance, which is what they also told me, I thought I'm in. So I rang them back and said, yep, I'll do it, if you can tell me what it is. And they said, we'll tell you later on. And
Oh, my goodness.
But get your snazzy shoes out.
they then said, it's in Buckingham Palace, that's all we can tell you. You'll need to wear shiny shoes.
Oh, my God.
Shiny shoes?
Shiny shoes. Dark suit, shiny shoes.
Quite a strange
Why
dictate,
shiny
isn't
shoes?
it?
I have no idea.
And did you have some shiny shoes?
I did, but I think I was the only one there with shiny shoes, so maybe...
You were buffing them up all night, that's why.
So then what happens? It's the very next day, you get ready. Who actually got the dishwasher?
I moved it, but bless the company involved, I got moved to another day.
Lovely, OK, that's a quite serious question. I just needed to know that.
It's the thing we all relate to, though, don't we? Like,
I just wanted to know who picked it up.
Yeah.
A neighbour or someone
No,
in the
it did
family.
come.
OK, so what happens next? You go to a cafeteria next to Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, I'm sitting outside waiting, feeling a little bit like I felt a bit like a spy, which sounds ridiculous, but... You know, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know why I'm going there. And I mosey on up, having received a text. I go in through security into reception and wait there. And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And then a tannoy comes over that says it's the Queen's Laundry has arrived, the Queen's Laundry. So I stand up and have a look at the Queen's Laundry arriving, as you do. And
exciting. Weird in a strange way.
Was it quite a lot? Was it hanging or was it in a basket?
No, it was a large van that turned up. I probably shouldn't say any more, but...
So, Mark, by this time, are you thinking, OK, who could it possibly be? So it's got to be a royal, so are you sort of just ticking them off in your head?
I am, but I just couldn't also think of any story at that point which was really important and worthy, certainly, of Newsnight, because that meant it was serious. So, other than the Queen's abdication, which again was remote, and also, why would they involve Newsnight? So I hadn't got a clue, and I found myself with an intern. What a great job. She was an intern at Buckingham Palace, about 19 years old. Incredible. And we're chatting away, walking through the underneath of the palace. We go up in a lift. We suddenly appear in the big marble hallway that you can see in the photographs. And I just had to interrupt her and just say, I'm really sorry, but I don't know why I'm here. I've no idea why I'm here. Who am I here to photograph? And she says, well, you're here to do the Duke of York. And I immediately went, hang on.
Duke of York?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't remember. Is it Andrew or Edward?
Which one is it?
And also, once I figured it out, why? So then the door opens and I go in the room. Camera crew are all setting up. I introduce myself to the people who I'd spoken to the night before and get a brief, which is just to shoot come what may, because
the
they are going to...
kind of stuff, is it?
Yeah, they said, don't stop the filming, whatever you do. We will continue filming, whatever happens. There's a chance that Prince Andrew may walk. We don't know what's going to happen. So whatever you do, get it. And I just say, well, let's shoot some stuff before, just in case it all goes belly up. And if we get a chance, we'll do it at the end. And that's exactly what we did. So everyone gets ready. Emily Maitlis arrives just in time, which I thought was a genius thing to do.
Very clever.
Then there's no
small talk.
Sort of small talk, and you know, it's all very professional. And they're just about to do the kind of clap that lines up the sound with the picture. And I just stand up and say, look, we've got to stop, because I need to take my photographs, and also, you've left all the breakfast in the back of the shot. And, I mean,
You're very brave to do that, to just stand up and go, stop, everyone, we can't start the interview
Well,
just yet.
if you don't do that, you don't get your shot, right?
Well, not only do I not get my shot, and I also thought, I don't know what's going to happen, but I was just aware there was just a messy breakfast in the...
Right.
There's a remote camera, which was not being manned, and they hadn't really thought about it, so that broke the tension.
And when you are shooting during the interview, is your camera silent?
No, I had 3 cameras, but I didn't shoot during the interview. They said, don't... You're the PS on this. You know, it's the film it's about, so don't mess anything up. So I shot beforehand with Andrew smiling and Emily looking quite serious, and at the end of the interview, I went round the other side and did the shot, which became the kind of holding shot with the crane lighting.
And then you had him in the corridor as well.
And then there was the move to the corridor, which it was filmed at the end, but they used it at the beginning. And that's when they were walking down for camera, and then again, I also said, would you mind doing it again for stills? And they marched up to the end of the room, and I asked them, could they walk really slowly and not talk? And they walked really fast, and they talked.
Yeah.
So I'm then running backwards, 3 cameras around my neck.
I don't know how you did it.
Trying to get them in focus, trying to not get them... But you can see in that picture the contrast between Prince Andrew's... almost his gait. He's moving quite fast, he's smiling, and the seriousness of Emily Maitlis reflecting how I think she felt about the interview. And we end up in a kind of huddle at the end. We've almost been running to get to the end, and we get to the end, the call goes out, it's a wrap, and I suddenly find myself in this kind of 3-way cram with the other 2, and that's when Prince Andrew said, well, I think that went really well.
Yeah. What were your impressions, like, of the interview? Like,
I was absolutely... I was blown away by it, as the viewer would have been seeing it live. I think there were key moments which everybody knows about, the sweating and Pizza Express, all of these moments, and I caught the eye of the other cameraman on the other side just to kind of make contact with someone, but I just didn't want to do anything dramatic because I didn't want anyone to realise that this was a bit of a shock.
This is an exclusive picture here that you haven't shown on television before.
Yes.
It's beautiful, actually. The colours and everything is lovely.
This is the discussion with that's Amanda Thirsk, who is the Prince's private secretary, and Stuart McLean, who's the producer. So it's the only one where you can see, actually, the crew involved and the calmness of the event, really, and the sort of seriousness of it.
And you are right, breakfast would have ruined it.
Do you reckon?
Thank you.
It would have been on that table in the background.
It's absolutely fascinating,
Thanks,
the story.
Mark.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.